The You're Gonna Love This or Not podcast contains harsh language and may not be suitable for younger listeners.
Why would you answer this call? Why would you answer this call? Why?
Hello?
Hey man, what's up?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Well, I've been doing some thinking.
Oh, have you?
We've been doing this for close to a year now.
Yeah,
And I've made you sit through some stuff that you really, really hated.
it's been terrible.
And I thought, there's a few really, really bad good movies out there that I'd love to show them, but because I feel like I've really been hard on you lately, I've decided that for movie night this month, we're going to watch Ace Ventura 2 and The Greatest Showman.
Woo! I love those movies. I listen to the soundtrack of The Greatest Showman sometimes just for the fun of it.
Oh, hold on, dude. Sorry, Tony's calling.
Why?
Hold on, let me patch him in.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey!
Oh, great. We've got both of you here on the line.
Oh,
That's great.
yeah.
I thought I was going to have to use
Did you hear what's going to happen at movie night? We're going to watch some awesome movies. I'm so excited.
Yeah, about that.
Oh. I knew it's going to be true.
It's my turn.
Fuck.
Oh, no.
I have had to listen to almost a complete year of your guys' crap, editing this stuff over and over and over. It's my turn. But
And
you know
you've
what?
loved every minute.
This has been a film that I've loved since I was a kid.
Really?
Ooh.
So I'm not going to be too rough on you
Is
guys.
it in black and white? Because you're that old?
It's a classic film. It's a sci-fi film with a score by John Williams,
Oh.
Okay.
with Academy Award nominated makeup effects by the Stan Winston.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds amazing.
Okay.
Terminator, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I just assumed you were
Okay.
cool because you know and you're our effects guy.
So it's a really, really cool sci-fi film. I hope you guys will enjoy it because this is something that I've loved since I was a kid, and even recently when I watched it without the rose-tinted glasses, I've really enjoyed it.
Well,
So,
I definitely trust your opinion on movies way more than Matt's.
So hold on. You're going to be in charge, and this is a good movie?
I'll see you tonight.
This is my worst nightmare.
I'm excited.
In this month's episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not, Matt and Josh watch a movie selected by their editor, yours truly, as payback for the past 10 months of Drek. I go easy on them though, showing them a favorite film from my youth, the 1981 romantic comedy Heartbeeps. Will they enjoy this film as much as I do? Or will they despair at the never-ending pacing issues and wooden acting? Let's listen to the trailer and find out what they thought.
And now, direct from his worldwide tour, we proudly present the one and only Leonard Catskill.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and germs. It's great to be here. Of course, at my age, it's great to be anywhere. But seriously, folks, I'm here to tell you about this new movie. It's called Heartbeeps, and it's about me and my pals. Here's Val Count.
Turn your head around.
I don't want to say he's dim-witted, but he makes an electric toothbrush look like a genius.
Look, fire. My function? To serve as companion and valet. Being programmed for charm was probably an extra expense.
This is Aquacom. She was Popular Mechanics Playmate of the Month for June 1994. Did a load of those components. Wowie wow.
Oh, thank you.
And then there's Philco. He's a great kid. But he had no sense of humor until he met me.
I haven't been this happy since the time I bought a pet skunk. My wife said, "Where do you expect to keep it?" I said, "Under our bed." She said, "What about the smell?" And I said, "He'll have to get used to it, just like I did."
Now the problem is, we're all being chased by this overgrown squad car named Crime Buster.
Don't get excited. Don't get excited.
Remain stationary for computer check. While waiting, you may enjoy a brief musical interlude.
He's a cross between Darth Vader and a Sherman tank. I've heard of party crashes, but this is ridiculous. But believe me, folks, this movie's got a lot going for it. There's action, adventure, romance, raccoons, even people. Hey, kid, behave yourself. Oh, yeah, and I'm in the movie, too. But seriously, folks, don't forget to see Universal's new movie, Heartbeeps. And it's coming for you-know-when. And speaking of Christmas...
Andy Kaufman, Bernadette Peters, in Heartbeeps, coming this Christmas. It's holiday entertainment for everyone.
So I says, I don't care who you are, Fatso. Get those reindeer off my roof.
Tony, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, how do you like them apples?
Oh my God.
Fucking terrible.
That movie, I'm not going to say that movie didn't age well. That movie was never that good to begin with.
Like, seriously. Like, I had faith in you, Tony. Matt got my hopes up with Ace Ventura 2 and The Greatest Showman, and you were like, hey, we're going to watch this really good movie. I really like it. It's aged well. I watched it recently.
Oh,
You're going to like it too. And I'm like, you know what? Tony wouldn't lie to me. Tony's a good person. He wouldn't do this to me.
No, you sons of bitches had me editing all this crap. Jaws the Revenge, Cannibal the Musical, No Holds Barred.
But those movies are good, and this one has garbage.
No,
those 3 movies were garbage.
No.
We've only watched 2 movies that were good.
Remember, this was Payback. This is one of those movies. I was not kidding when I say I grew up loving this film and revisit it and still enjoy it. And I had the extra enjoyment from seeing all of you squirm and go, oh my God, this is so boring.
Well, it's not often you get a 4-hour-long movie about shitty robots.
It was 77 minutes.
Oh my God.
That's the worst part about it, is it was only 77 minutes.
And I
feel like I've had 3 birthdays.
Yeah, it seemed like weeks.
It was the worst paced movie of all time.
Well, it's kind of funny. The director of this was an Alan Arkush, fresh off of Rock and Roll High School. According to the IMDb page on this, people were immensely frustrated at the glacial pace that he would shoot the scenes.
That's too kind.
Dude, this is
Glacial's too kind.
An hour and 15-minute plus
the
movie.
ice caps are melting.
You just to buy a little bit, and nothing fucking happens.
Ever.
It's like 5 minutes of plot.
Ever. It's terrible.
And there are never any real stakes. Like, even when the crime bot or whatever attacks them, you're like, nah, who the fuck cares?
Like, there was nothing attached to me to this movie in any way, shape, or form. Like, I have felt nothing for some movies, but I have felt literally nothing for nothing besides.
Yeah, like, even in the very end, where they get captured and you're like, oh God, they're going to get melted down or whatever, the whole ending is that they got let go.
Yeah, they were sent to the junkyard, where they had met the junkyard people before.
Yeah.
And the cute little trash panda.
Where they wanted to go all along.
Then they get to live happily ever after in a Stepford Wives situation.
It's the Wizard of Oz without the wizard or the witch or anything else. Just a yellow brick road from A to B, and they just walk along musical and they're
scores. The fact that John Williams did this makes her rethink everything about John Williams.
Yeah, he can't be real proud of this one.
I'm not sure I can ever watch another John Williams movie again after watching this piece of shit.
There's some real shitty keyboard stuff right in the middle of this movie.
I really think he was experimenting with the synthesizer at this point.
Yeah, he's not good at it. Glad he went back to like a 70-piece
away.
orchestra.
This is terrible.
Yeah, this is after Star Wars. This is after Empire. This is right before Jedi, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And he's doing this.
So he does one of the best musical scores in a movie ever in Star Wars, and then he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a score for the world's worst movie.
At this point, he's also done Jaws, Close Encounters, and like 5 other amazing movies. Raiders, he's done at this point. And then this.
This would be like Danny Elfman doing an episode of Caillou.
Jesus.
No, I actually kind of want to see that.
I don't. I don't want to see any Caillou ever.
I'd watch it. I'm not going to lie.
So, but check this out. The director of this film is still directing.
How?
He has directed episodes and is also an executive producer on Heroes.
Wow.
Well, that was great for one season.
Hey,
minus half an episode.
There was a season and an episode that were good.
He did 2 episodes of Netflix's A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Okay, I've heard that's pretty
I
good.
haven't watched it
watched
yet.
it
Yeah.
And he's still working on stuff. Of course, he's done some NCIS.
So basically what you're saying is his movie career was ruined, so he does TV now.
That's what I'm hearing.
I think he did one more film after this that I might have heard of, but it wasn't enough for me to write it down.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that's movie that'd be enough for me to write it down.
Oh, I wrote down a shit ton.
Why?
The first thing I wrote down was, holy shit, that's Randy Quaid.
Yeah, the shooter's full.
I should say Academy Award nominee Randy Quaid.
That was what, 10 years before?
Yeah, 10 years, which amazing. He must have been super young when he was nominated.
Now, the writer of this film, he was
a 12-year-old person.
Yeah,
he has previously did some uncredited writes on Close Encounters, which is probably how we got the John Williams work and all that.
Yeah.
How we got on this film.
Makes sense.
He went on to do a few episodes of Quantum Leap, the classic Western Quigley Down Under.
Ugh.
Fucking
And
Australians.
he worked on Thunder in Paradise.
Oh, with Hulk
A
Hogan.
nice connection to one of our earlier episodes, No Holds Barred.
This explains so
Hulk
much.
Hogan.
He did the Thunder in Paradise.
I think it's the only TV show that's ever shot multiple episodes on Seven Seas Lagoon and Epcot.
He dealt with Australians, which we can all agree are terrible, and nowhere near as good as New Zealanders.
Man, I have so
And
many things to say about this
He
movie.
did the Thunder Down Under. Wait.
Do you know what Thunder Down Under is? Because I don't think you do.
That was the joke there. Another shitty Australian thing. Oh my God. The humor is lost on you all. Want to hear a fun joke?
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. I've already told it.
Oh, thank God, because I've just sit through an hour and 15 minutes of that fucking Henny Youngman bot.
Yeah, like I'm really disappointed in this movie because Andy Kaufman is quite entertaining.
I loved
in
Andy
general.
Kaufman.
Like,
I still love Andy Kaufman. I love him a little less after this movie, but I love the whole wrestling thing, the whole taxi thing.
like Andy
Kaufman was awesome, and this movie is so bad.
Yeah, I don't know how to compare. This is like Jim Carrey in the original Ace Ventura.
Yeah, this movie is like Andy Kaufman without all the good parts of Andy Kaufman.
This film was Andy Kaufman right in the middle of Taxi, doing work on Saturday Night Live. Wow. He wants to do his film. Universal's like, we need to see if you can lead a film first.
This is for sure
He can't.
his version of The
Newsflash,
Majestic.
he can't.
Like
Hey.
the cry for an Academy Award
Hey.
nomination. And he's just not going to
The
do it
Majestic
in
was
here.
good.
I'm not going to say The Majestic wasn't good, but it was not what Jim Carrey wanted it to be.
Yeah. Well, Jim Carrey and Andy Kaufman are pretty alike in little ways. I mean,
This
Jim
was
Carrey does play
the
Andy
Razor's
Kaufman.
Edge. It just doesn't work.
But Universal gave him this with a blank check.
Well, why didn't he spend any goddamn money on it?
Right? Why didn't he pay somebody to pace the film better?
Because
to create any type of I didn't know there could be less romantic chemistry between two characters.
Well, Yankee Zephyr.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going with this. Like Yankee Zephyr had terrible romantic chemistry, and I wasn't sure that we could watch a film that had worse romantic chemistry until this very moment.
But by all rights, this film should not have been this bad. Score by John Williams.
Yeah.
Makeup effects by Stan Winston. It had, Kaufman. It had Bernadette Peters.
Yeah.
It had Randy Quaid, Christopher Guest, Dick Miller, Kathleen Freeman. Jerry Garcia did a little robot voice.
But, okay, so it's got Christopher Guest, who's a terrific improviser and actor. Yet in the future, apparently, nobody can act.
Ever.
Very stilted.
It's all monotone. Is this the way we talk in the future? Do we talk like all our cars that look like shit in the future? It's awful.
It was so bad.
But
although the redeeming part of this was that the makeup and effects for this were actually quite good for the time period.
Okay, so the robot makeup is quite good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that is the redeeming part of this movie is that the effects in this movie for being shot in 1982, I mean, this movie is as old as I am. And the effects look good.
It just suffers from the same thing every movie with practical effects trying to be a person is, which is creepy dead eyes. Yeah. Yeah, like that beginning part where they zoom in on Andy Kaufman's eyes. And
I feel like we keep watching movies that have really good effects but are really terrible movies.
Well, they're
Miami Connection.
Okay, Spookies. How's that?
Spookies.
Yeah, great effects. Fucking terrible movie.
Oh my god. Although we did watch, which we didn't air, the original Fantastic Four, which had terrible effects and was a terrible movie.
Also, just for clarification, Bernadette Peters, when she's explaining what she does in the beginning, she is totally like a sex bot, right?
She's an escort bot.
Yeah, like she bones humans, right?
No, she makes men feel more intelligent and virile.
Yeah, she bones dudes.
This was a children's movie based on the fact that kids love robots.
How is this a children's movie? The plot line in this is, robots find life and mature and take a Sunday drive to the junkyard, apparently. Like, there's no...
I didn't say they did it well. I said this was the intent.
Is there no real danger in this movie because it was for kids? What was this rated?
I can't even remember.
I remember seeing this in the video store, and I never
I know
picked
what it was
up.
rated. T for fucking terrible.
Wouldn't
that'd be
F?
FT.
FT? Yeah.
No, I just added the fucking part. Which is what I should have added to this movie, made it better.
Also, I got questions about other robots. Like, why is the comedian robot, like, actually smoking a cigar?
True.
Like,
also, why did he vote for Trump?
Yeah. No, that's the crime bot.
Oh, yeah.
Or
You know the smoking robot also voted for Trump.
That was Crime Buster.
Yeah, Crime
Deluxe.
Buster. That's it. Yeah.
He was the deluxe.
Who's just angry for no reason. It's a fucking robot.
The voice actor that did Crime Buster before this had done voice work on Kentucky Fried Movie, The Smurfs and the Magic Flute, and Delinquent Schoolgirls, among other films.
Okay,
well, those sound
I
like
gotta
sex
tell you, I've
films.
seen 2 of those. I'm not gonna tell you which 2.
He went on.
And
He
the
was
Smurfs
the
and the Magic
voice of
Flute.
Eeyore in a lot of the 80s Winnie the Pooh stuff.
Really?
He was the voice of Dragstrip in the Transformers cartoons.
Uh-huh.
He was Nikolai Volkov in Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling.
God.
Fucking Hulk Hogan. He's been mentioned.
He just keeps popping up. You can't get rid of him.
This is like
And-
7 degrees of Hogan.
I gotta
And
tell
of
you.
all things.
Oh, Josh, you don't know what it is, but you are gonna love the next movie.
And of all
I
things,
swear to God, if it's another Hulk Hogan film, I'm going to fucking lose it.
he
I'm
was
being
the
serious.
voice of Armus in Star Trek The Next Generation, the oil slick that killed Tasha Yar. And Mike's over here going,
Fucking
oh,
nerds.
seriously?
God, this is so terrible.
Also
I
about
can't even
robots.
talk about this movie. It's so bad.
Okay, so when these robots get put in storage, they're like on and functional. Why not just turn them off?
You can't turn off Robot Love.
Like,
Could
okay,
you
so why do they stay awake and the comedian robot starts sleeping and snoring?
Because he's an old man who smokes cigars.
Well, what purpose does the big shoulder pad on Bernadette Peters serve other than to keep her from looking to her left the entire movie because it's taller than her head?
Because it's the future.
The whole movie, though, he never moves to her left. Nothing ever moves to her left because she cannot look left.
I also like to talk about the rampant misogyny throughout this entire movie. Like how the man is just like, I'm not going to slow down. I know what I'm doing. And how she's only designed to basically make men feel better about themselves.
Well, she is
And,
a fuckbot, dude.
I mean, this is a feminist nightmare.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, you know, it's what she's programmed to do. I'd say she has the power
it
to
is
do it on her free
1982,
will,
and
but
most
she doesn't
things
have
came
free
out
will.
of-
Except she does, and then that's demonstrated when she has a child or 2. And yeah,
Without any sex, so we don't need any robot porn.
Yeah.
So they just build it, and then all of a sudden, there's no like robot porn music. I mean, they could have just called the guys in No Hold Bars and just used their soundtrack.
they took out all the fun out of it. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, I did not enjoy this at all.
Oh, and I wrote, what a waste of Bernadette Peters, because it is a huge waste of Bernadette Peters.
What a waste of Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. That's 2 lines later. What a waste of Andy Kaufman. And then 3 lines after that is I wrote, the biggest waste of Bernadette Peters. Like it could have been anybody in that suit.
Yeah.
Anybody. Because it takes advantage of absolutely none of her actual skills. And the weird monotooth thing drove me insane the entire movie.
Oh my god. They had no inflection to their voice.
Yeah, it looked awful. And it was obviously all the dialogue was ADR because you can't talk with that in the front of your mouth, except for a couple of lines where it was obvious where they didn't ADR because you couldn't understand a fucking thing she was saying.
Let me tell you a joke that's really funny.
Let me tell you a joke. That's what I'm saying.
My mother-in-law needed a heart transplant, but we couldn't find a gorilla.
So you're talking about anybody could have been in that suit. Sigourney Weaver was offered the part, and her agent talked her out of it.
Thank God.
Lucky her.
Because that would have ruined her career.
I mean, come on, this is Bernadette Peters. She's won more Tonys than I've got, I don't know, fingers, toes, other things. Like, she's amazing, and they used none of her skills.
Well, when this came out in December of 1981, it was sharing the screens with On Golden Pond, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, and Reds. 2 of those 3 films were nominated for Academy Awards.
Yeah, Reds with Warren Beatty, right?
Yep.
That's like a
And
best
I'm
picture.
assuming Mad Max 2 was the other one that was nominated.
Yeah, tell yourself that.
I didn't even know the first movie, so.
It was in theaters for 3 weeks.
Too long.
Had an estimated budget of $10 million.
How did this cost $10 million?
In 1981.
In 2019 dollars, $10 million would buy you a movie 10 times better than this.
John Williams.
Okay, I get it.
Did they pay him all $10 million? Because I feel like that's the thing that happened.
The worldwide gross was $2,154,000.
So they lost $8 million.
$54,696. Only pulled in $407,000.
What was that, Mike? Who's on mic tonight?
He's not because his microphone's not turned on.
He said cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh, you should turn it on.
This movie was so bad, Kaufman apologized for it on David Letterman. Promised to refund everybody who paid to see it. Letterman's response, you better have change for a 20.
Yeah, I get it. And I bet he would have too. Everybody who wrote to him, I'm sure, got their money back.
God, it was so terrible. Yeah, movie tickets back then were like $2 a piece, so.
I know how much you love this, Josh. We do have a fun game of higher and lower. But first...
yay. Let me guess. Lots of stupid, pointless trivia.
But first, let us pause for a word from our sponsor.
All right, we're almost done with the year, and my ad reads haven't really resonated with any potential sponsors.
No.
Or listeners, for that matter. So I've upped my game. I wrote this one down. I wrote a full commercial. I've marked out all you guys' lines. Just read them. It'll be great. I even recorded a jingle for it.
So we all have to fucking do this?
Yes. Yes, you do. And Mike has the first line. So 3, 2, 1, action.
Okay. Here goes. Hey, everybody. I need to have 2 or more pieces of metal joined together by heating them to their melting point and using pressure to fuse them together.
Boy, that sounds like a Webster's Dictionary definition of welding. Seriously, though, you wrote it like this?
Yeah, of course I did. It's good. It's great. Just read the lines. This is serious business. We're trying to pick up sponsors.
That sounds like a Webster's Dictionary definition of welding. And if that's what you need, please let me introduce you to the right man for the job.
Are you fucking serious? We have to do this.
Yes, absolutely. Just read the script. It's guaranteed to pick up cash cow internet podcast advertisers.
Doubtful.
Continue, Tony.
Here is my favorite welding person, the best value you can get in the whole welding world. You know, I think it would be welder, not welding person. Also, why does it say welding instead of welding?
Because it does. Legal reasons. Just read the script, please.
Fine, whatever.
I'm pleased to meet you, friend of Tony's. What is your... Is this going to be the thing now?
No, I can't believe we're doing this. This is dumb. Beyond belief.
The script, Mike. Script.
Fine. What is your name?
Allow me to introduce myself. Wait a minute. Wasn't Tony introducing me? This makes no fucking sense. None.
Oh, come on, man.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mac. James Mac. For fuck's sake. Really? Like James Bond? This is so fucking dumb. I am the owner of the best welding store and all of Indianapolis' West Side.
I overheard you from across the room at this cocktail party, and I too need some welding done. What's the name of this welding store?
A voice? You're doing a voice?
Since when does he do voices? Are we gonna have to deal with this from now on?
No, thank God, no.
Oh, come on, you guys. Can we just please get through this? Why do you have your hand raised?
Is there such a thing as a welding store?
Well, first, for legal reasons, welding store. And second, of course, where would you get welding things and people?
I don't think that exists. Also, I'm not comfortable with any of this.
Look, dude, I know you're a podcast pro, but seriously, once this is cut, it's going to be great. The story's in the edit. I promise you. Seriously, please. Josh?
Fine. My welding store is Mac Weldon. We can meet all your welding needs at a price you can afford.
Wait, Mac Weldon? The internet underwear store? You really think they're going to listen to this?
Not Mac Weldon. Mac Weldon.
This is gross. I'm out. I'm done. Nope.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to cut this whole thing out.
Good. Don't let him out of this back either later.
You guys, you haven't even heard the jingle yet.
I'm sure it's fucking dumb.
So I guess we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
They're good underpants, though.
Yeah,
If you need some plumbing done, call Mac Weldon, he's the one. Mac Weldon!
What? No! No, I'm recording in here. Damn it. You get the plunger.
Say, we can just skip that and just edit it in there where I'm going, okay, guys.
Yeah.
And we're back.
I gotta see what notes I haven't used yet.
What we are going to look at here, and don't worry, I don't have like 20 films like Matt normally does, okay? I've only got 7 here.
21.
Oh, just because you know when to stop.
This is why I love Tony more than Matt.
So this is the Rotten Tomatoes audience score. We can't go the critic score.
Because no critics watch this piece of shit.
No, there was critics, and the score was 0.
Yay.
But you know Rotten Tomatoes, the audience is very forgiving, so that score is obviously
Well,
going to be
the
higher.
only
The
person
people
to
that
vote
rated
on
on
this
Rotten
Rotten
Tomatoes are the people who want to watch the movie to begin with. So
Nobody wants to
excuse
watch
it.
this movie.
I don't know. I always wanted
They're
to see it.
forced to watch it by a friend, quote unquote, bringing them to a basement and forcing them to watch it.
And he even brought it into my, like, it's not even his basement. It's ridiculous.
I know. He lured us to your basement.
So these are all 7 movies that feature robots.
Oh, yay.
And I need you to keep track. Okay? Here's a pencil if you like. Write on your script.
I mean, we totally didn't have a script.
But I'm just going to go through and you're going to guess, was the audience score for the movie I name higher or lower than the audience score for Heartbeeps? And then at the end, we'll see how many got the right answers. Okay?
Oh, joy. This sounds like so much fun.
Get over it.
Score. Okay.
So the first one is the film The Black Hole.
I don't know that movie.
Did it have a higher audience score or lower audience score?
What's the audience score for this on Rotten Tomatoes again?
I'm not telling.
Yeah,
you
that's the whole point of the
tell us
game.
to begin with?
Remember?
Okay. I would say The Black Hole was higher.
I don't know the black hole. I'm going to go with Mike. He also says higher.
Are you taking notes?
Whenever you give us the answer.
Well, no, I'll give you the answer at the very end. We're going to go through the 7, then I'll let you know what the right answers are.
Okay.
Because if
we both guessed higher. So
higher.
Next up is Terminator: Rise of the Machines.
Gotta be lower.
The third one.
That movie was terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
audience score lower.
Yeah, I gotta say
there was a lot of
this movie was definitely
anticipation.
lower
Yeah.
than Terminator: Rise of the Machines.
No, I think that Terminator: Rise of the Machines is lower than this.
You think Terminator: Rise of the Machines was lower?
That's what we're
than this?
doing, right?
Yeah.
I think that Terminator: Rise of the
we
Machines is
both
lower.
guessed that the black hole was higher.
Yes.
I'm guessing that the
Rise of the Machines is
Rise of the
higher?
Machines is higher than this as well.
Okay, I'm guessing lower.
How about the 2014 version of RoboCop?
Ooh.
I'm going to guess that was higher than this as well.
I'm going to guess that was also lower.
And this one's a callback. Short Circuit 2.
Fuck. I'm guessing it's higher.
Ooh. I'm going to guess Short Circuit 2 was higher than this, yeah. So far, I'm all higher.
Okay.
Because I don't like this movie.
Can you take me higher?
Next one up is Bicentennial Man.
Oh, Bicentennial Man was
higher.
definitely higher.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about that.
I'm sure you're going to shock us on this, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
Bicentennial Man
liked
was amazing.
Bicentennial Man.
Transformers The Last Night.
Oh, shit.
Lower.
Yeah, I'm going to go lower, too.
Because some of these movies had great anticipation, and so they would be lower because the audience went into higher expectations. The audience went into this movie with no expectations.
There
was no audience for this movie.
The final film was the animated feature Robots.
Oh, higher.
Yeah, I'd say Robots got higher.
That went higher with almost everything.
Well, if you went lower on anything, you would have been wrong. Every one of those films scored a higher audience rating than Heartbeeps.
Wow.
Heartbeeps had an audience score of 22%.
6 out of 7.
Wow.
1, 2, 3.
Black Hole had an audience score of 45%. Rise of the Machines had an audience score of 46%, which is a crime.
How?
RoboCop had an audience score of 49%.
Once again, 49% of the population voted for Trump, so...
Short Circuit 2 had an audience score of 54%. Bicentennial Man, 58%.
That's low, I think.
The Last Night, 44%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Robots, 53%.
Yeah. Audience score on Bicentennial Man is really that low?
Yeah.
That's a great movie. People should rewatch that movie.
Yeah, I think that's something that
That movie
should be
ages well.
revisited
I
now.
watched it a few years ago, and it ages well.
It's good sci-fi.
Plus, I think with Robin Williams being dead now, it would be probably more.
Only Robin Williams movie on that list.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Now, something interesting there. This year, the year this movie came out, Stan Winston was nominated for an Academy Award for his makeup work. He lost to Rick Baker because this was the year Rick Baker did American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rick Baker won the makeup. Steve Johnson was on his crew. 17 years later, Steve Johnson's crew would be responsible for the robot suits in Bicentennial Man. And they had specific instructions.
Look vaguely similar.
Nope, they had specific instructions to make sure the robots in no way evoke the memory of the robots in Heartbeeps. I learned this as I was doing restoration work on the suits, commented on how they were similar to Heartbeep suits. And the person I was working with said, if you say that in front of Steve, he will kill you.
Yeah, I get it, but I see the
I
similarity.
would like to point out that Tony's fun facts are way better than Matt's fun
You shut your hole.
Because Tony has real world experience with it. Where you just write off a bunch of facts. That
I
mean
went on the
nothing.
set of Yankee Zephyr.
You went on the set of Shut Your Mouth.
And you see, he had pictures of the set of Yankee Zephyr where myself, I have pictures of me working on a Bicentennial Man suit. That's about it.
I've seen pictures of you back then, and you were completely unrecognizable.
He was handsome then. He's handsome now.
Well, yeah, that stayed the same.
70 pounds lighter, full head of hair, baby face.
Yeah, but now he has a magnificent beard that makes
Not
him
destroyed by life at
super
that point.
handsome.
So this was also nominated for 2 Saturn Awards in 1982.
Wow.
Everything's
Once
nominated for a
again,
Saturn Award.
Best Makeup were once again lost to Rick Baker.
Fucking Rick Baker.
And it was nominated for Best Science Fiction Film, along Escape from New York, Heavy Metal, Outland, and all of them were beaten by Superman 2.
But Escape from New York is pretty decent.
Yeah, but Superman 2. Come on.
I mean, yeah.
Kneel before Zod.
I understand. But I can see how Escape from New York could also be in the category. I don't know how this movie is. There must not have been any other sci-fi movies besides those 5 this year.
I'm not even sure I would call Superman 2 sci-fi, but
Well, it's
whatever.
I think
sci-fi.
comics, sci-fi,
Yeah.
fantasy is what Saturn really covered. So.
Saturn just covers anything they feel like.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, back then, the term sci-fi was a lot more broad than it is now.
Yeah, kind of.
Because we have a lot more subcategories now that narrow it down. Like comics or Marvel or whatever else, their own little universe now. So you have comic universes because there's so many comic movies out there. Whereas sci-fi is more considered like spacey stuff or robotic stuff, or
So-
although technically comics are sci-fi.
Okay, I've got a few more notes that I took during the movie. Kathleen Freeman, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's awesome. She's the nun in the Blues Brothers.
Fat Penguin?
Yep. And in the original Broadway cast of The Full Monty, I think her name was Janine in that. I don't know. She was awesome in that. Oh, it's the Security Bot, the Crime Bot 2000 or whatever the fuck it is. Crime Bot Deluxe.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's so insecure that it has to keep talking to itself to psych itself up. It has a goddamn flamethrower and 2 machine guns. I mean, what does it need? Okay, you're not talking and you're pointing at yourself.
Do you have a flamethrower and 2 machine guns? If you did, would you need to talk yourself up?
Are you
psych yourself
turned
out?
on so you can talk in the microphone? Am I looking at the microphone?
Mike
so you
is
can hear me
always
when I talk
turned
in the
on when I'm
microphone?
around.
That's true. That's true.
No, the mic's not on.
Oh, Mike is on.
Mike should be on.
The mic cannot be on because we're recording.
I also wrote down, CrimeBot sucks. Future cars look like shit.
Hey, one of those was a classic Thunderbird.
Yeah, but
For
the thing is,
record.
they were all like 1982 or 81 cars. Like, they made no effort to make them look any different.
Oh, I know. Except for that really awesome liftgate in the back of the pickup truck.
Yeah. Oh, and they went in the store that looked like a shitty convenience store from the early 80s.
Yeah.
I think I saw some arcade machines in the back that were no different than anything.
Yeah, but
back
this
then.
was only set in 1995.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't know for
Like I
sure,
said-
but that's a guess.
Yeah, that's I tried finding what year it was set in. I can't remember. I've lost my novelization years ago.
Oh my god.
Yes, I own the novelization to this.
I say that
Of
even
course
though
you
I
do,
had
Matt.
the
I mean,
novelization
Tony.
for Jaws the Revenge.
But some of the articles and some of the reviews I read mentioned the year 1995.
Okay, and GM. Like, do you think they paid for product placement in this movie? Or
Well, this
was
would have
it
been in the
licensed?
early 80s, which GM would have been making a pretty big impact in the world at that point.
This is leading up to the big bankruptcy, though.
But the
That's why they
GM
probably
logo
were-
shown by them was not matching the GM logo on their truck, which was a GM truck.
Wow.
There was the company logo painted on the side, but the front of the truck had the regular GMC logo.
What was the name of the
Which,
company?
but then the flip side is they also mentioned robots made by Datsun. So
Yeah, I don't. Did GM own Datsun at the time?
No, Datsun is later became Nissan.
Okay.
Datsun was an independent company that was later bought out by Nissan.
All right. I also have written down emotional scenes don't work when things can't show emotion.
I keep telling people this. They don't believe me.
see
And,
also the new version of The Lion King.
Yeah, and the last thing I wrote down
haven't
is
seen it yet.
the last thing I wrote down was this movie made me feel nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
Not even contempt for
No, not
your
even really
editor.
that. I just kept waiting for something to happen, and it never did. Like, even at the end where they get captured or whatever, you're like, ooh, how are they going to escape? And they have a scene where people talk about how they scrapped them and let them go just back to where they wanted
I finally
to be.
figured out what this movie reminds me of.
What?
The Happening.
Yeah, like, oh my God. The trees, man. The trees.
Like, that's the
keep
only
away.
other movie that I ever watched that's pacing was as bad as this movie. Because
Yeah,
literally nothing happens the entire movie.
Like, there's no real stakes. Okay, so
It's just Mark Wahlberg being Mark Wahlberg the entire time during The Happening.
4 days ago, I watched Jojo Rabbit. And for like the first, 50 minutes of that movie, it's just like a fun romp through Nazism. And then all of a sudden, it hits you with a jackhammer to the face.
Please don't spoil it.
Oh, I'm not going to spoil it because I want all your lives to be ruined by it. But, like, that
You
movie.
ruined my life monthly.
That movie shocked me so much with that part of it that I had to sit in my car for like 10 minutes after just trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life, kind of thing. And yeah, this movie, nothing happens that engages me in the least.
Was it your Mazes and Monsters whiteboard moment?
Maybe.
So, how would you rate this movie?
0. Absolutely fucking 0.
I would say I enjoy effects and practical effects and makeup. I would give this movie out of 10. I would give this a 1.5 with 5 points for the makeup and effects.
So it was a -4.5 beforehand?
3.5. -3.5.
Well, I'm going with 4.5 because I can't do math right now.
I gave it 2.5 stars on Letterboxd on my viewing last night.
So that's 5
So
stars
that'll
on
be
10.
a 5-star on a 10-point scale.
Yeah, I'm going 0.
So the last little thing I had was Kaufman's voice annoyed the piss out of me in this
his
film.
voice and their weird fucking accent.
His voice didn't really bother me that much.
He can't say he says eh.
But
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
what? Supposedly,
I can't do that.
You know what he based it on?
What?
It was a mixture of Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd.
How can you do a mixture of those two?
It's Andy Kaufman.
Also, if Mel Blanc's voice is in the movie, why don't they just use him if that's what he wants to do? Oh my God!
Yeah.
You know what? I take it back. This is a solid 0.5.
Yeah, no. We're back to the 4.5 negative beforehand.
I feel nothing.
It's so bad. And it's not even that it's so bad. It's just so meh.
You hurt me, Tony. You hurt me good.
I'm not
with
even
this one.
hurt. I'm just wondering why. Like, why was this movie made? Like, what's the point behind it?
I'm not hurt, Tony. I'm disappointed.
So do we have any closing thoughts?
My mind has been completely erased by this shit film.
I liked it when Andy Kaufman was wrestling ladies better.
I should have drank more, but I have to drive home.
Oh, I'm pretty drunk, and I didn't drink near enough for this movie.
I don't think you can drink near enough for the movie. I'm going to put it out there. So, first time it's ever happened with a movie. Maybe. I may have said this about Spookies too. But I would rather watch Cannibal the Musical again than to watch this shit film. I would rather watch Miami Connection again than to watch this shit film.
Well, I would rather watch Miami Connection again too, but that's because it's awesome.
I'm going home next.
There you go, Matt. I have just elevated all the dreck you have shown him.
It's not so much that those movies were definitely worse than this movie, but this movie was just so blah that I just don't want to watch it again. Like there's absolutely no point. At least with the other movies, there's a point, and it's to torture Josh.
Yeah, and next month we're going to have our Team Geeking Christmas party, and I think I've got a movie you're really, really
Who's all
going to
coming to
hate.
Team Geeking Christmas Party?
All of Team Geeking.
Which is?
Well, we've got go ahead.
I figure what we're going to do is going to be you two gentlemen.
Yeah.
It'll be myself,
gentlemen.
Liz from Social Sci-Fi.
We love Liz.
We'll probably try to rope Kendra in because she has been a steady guest on Social Sci-Fi.
We love Kendra.
And of course, producer
You shut
Mike
your mouth.
is
We love
going to have
producer
his
Mike.
microphone actually turned on next month, and he will participate a little bit as well.
We shall see.
So there's going to be like 7 people on the podcast?
Yeah, we'll take shifts if we have to.
No.
This movie's going to take a lot of discussion.
All right. Well, all in all, this was a terrible experience for all of us, except for Tony, who wanted to get back at us because he has to listen to our stupid voices all the time.
I would say
And we appreciate everything that Tony does. He's an
you
amazing
have been
human being.
avenged, sir.
I guess I will suffer through a 77-minute movie every year this forward on.
Oh, if only it was just 77 for the next one.
We pay him enough money that we shouldn't have to, but, you know. Appreciate you coming on today, Tony, and helping out. Yeah, even though you're usually behind the scenes, we enjoyed your contributions to this. Your fun facts were way better than Matt's, and your game was also better because it was very short. Appreciate that.
Okay. First off, thank you, Tony. And second of all, Josh, go fuck yourself. I will repay you in the next movie. You have no idea what you're getting into.
So I guess we're done. Tony brought us a masterpiece of shit. And I think Matt was actually more pained by this movie than I was. Which is great.
I really think I was.
actually pretty excited about this.
I had high expectations because I remember seeing this in the video store when I was a kid and never getting it because I loved Andy Kaufman. But yeah, glad I never did and hope I never will. Oh, I forgot something. You guys, we weren't able to give away Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
What?
We also were not able to give away Ghostbusters. Nobody gives a shit. Because nobody listens. So I'm putting them together and I'm going to add a digital code for Captain America Civil War. Is that it? Yeah, that's the name of the movie?
Yeah.
There's more than one Captain America, so.
Yeah, Captain America.
Civil War.
The Civil War.
So you get
You get
3 movies.
Yeah, a Blu-ray copy of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Okay.
A Blu-ray copy of Ghostbusters,
Holy
the
fuck.
1984 version, and a digital code for Captain America Civil War.
Those are 3 phenomenal movies.
If anybody wants them, all you have to do is just say, "Hey, Eagleton," on Twitter. I love you.
YGLTON.
Yeah.
Not
Give
like
me
those
the
shitty
fucking
people next to
movies.
Bonnie.
That's all you got to do.
And remember, you can find the link to their Twitter account in the show notes attached to this episode.
Yeah.
Wow, that was Tony's podcast voice. That was fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway.
But I guess we have to keep it on brand for Eagleton. So you can find the address attached to this show notes, attached to this episode, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the fucking show notes already.
Oh, please take this shit off my hands.
Yeah.
These
okay,
movies are
well,
cursed.
Well, gentlemen, at this point, I believe we're off the rails. I feel my job here is done, at least until editing. So.
And as always.
Well, I love you, Tony, and I love you, Josh.
I love you, Tony. I love you, Matt.
I love you guys.
Bye.
This episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not was recorded at the SFP Studios, located off of beautiful Eagle Creek Reservoir in Indianapolis, Indiana. It features Matt dragging Josh down into the dark depths of his movie collection and is released monthly on the Team Geeking family of podcasts. It is produced by Mike Wycliffe, edited by Tony Troxell, and features music by Scott Holmes, who can be found on the Free Music Archive. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice, and please leave us a rating and review. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.